it's approaching the supreme moment. Reality striking closer than it seems, don't it? Go ahead, it's for the taking if you want it. If not, the dream dies and you'll be forever haunted. Then confront it.
What's good? So I figured it'd be a good time to cover this because throughout various videos on nuke tests against the punch machine, I pretty much get this question every video, how I'm using items on the punch machine event. Now for the JP players, you guys are aware of this already because the punch machine additional stages 4 through 6 came out shortly after the rollout for the 4-year anniversary, but I think a lot of the questions come from the global player base, so I just wanted to cover this video in detail and just kind of run through it and just clear the air a little bit. So according to iSeriously, the maintenance for the Dokkan punch machine event is going to be undertaken on July 22nd, so about 2 weeks from now, and that is pretty much going to be the time where the additional stages 4 through 6 will be available on global. So I did want to cover this in detail in terms of what to expect and what types of items and setups you want to run with that. So again, this is just the stages 1 through 3 that's currently available on both versions. 4 through 6 again is only available on JP right now, but according to iSeriously, after July 22nd, they should be available on global as well. So you're going to have a Zenny stage, Potential Orb stage, and also a Dragonstone stage. Again, Devilman unfortunately is not allowed in this event, and the way to go about this is to bring in the orb changing units that add 5% addition for the amount of key collected, and then also nuke lead. So those are two essential setups you're going to need with that. The good thing about 4 through 6 stages is you don't really have to worry about orb changing units. You don't really need any of those because again, you can use items, and because of that, you're going to be able to bring in a bunch of more support type units that increase attack or lower enemies defense, whichever the case is. So that's going to change your strategy up a little bit. Alright, so go into the detail. Let's just go to stage 4 here. This is for the Zenny stage, and the cap is going to be 99.9 million, let's just say. So up to 99 million, you're going to be able to get various types of rewards for that. Zenny is probably not as important for you guys as the other two portions. So stage 5 is for the potential orbs. You do get quite a bit for getting up to the damage cap. So, and then finally stage 6 is where the most important thing is. I mean, you're looking at a total of 89 Dragonstones by fulfilling all the requirements. That's basically being able to hit up to 99.9 million in damage capacity. So again, this isn't where it's going to calculate the cumulative total. It's based on one hit. Basically the highest hit per run is going to be calculated as the damage itself. So that's pretty much the format of what the requirements are. I didn't go one by one, but again, the most important thing is 89 total Dragonstones you can acquire based on fulfilling the missions. And in order to do that, let's take a look at some of the units here. These are all the units that have the ability to raise attack for every key collected. So depending on what your available deck is, it's going to change the the game plan a little bit. Now these guys are the nuke leads, so the good thing is I think global will also get the function to where you do get a default set of options where every single one of these are going to be available to be selected, so you don't have to worry about necessarily a friendly that has the nuke leaders. So that's the very good thing about it. Now I mainly play JP, so I don't know if that's already available in global right now, but if it isn't, that's going to be very, very helpful. You can run through each event or each stage 2 times a day, so you're going to have these guys available for you. Now in terms of the actual nuking units, I've tested quite a few, not all, but quite a few, and I do have a playlist on the 100% potential or nuke test playlist, so if you're looking for specific units, definitely refer to that if you need some sort of visual representation of how to go through this. Now, these guys, attack increase of 20%, 15%, 15%, 12%. All these guys have the ability to nuke. I've tested, examples like the Spirit Bomb Goku, Race Trunks is one I think I've tested as well. Majin Vegeta also. This guy with the Dokkan Awaken coming up in the 4-year anniversary for Global, this guy can actually get close to that 99 million, depending on the right rotations, obviously. You've got other units like LR Gohan's Prime for that. The EZA for Buhan's not available in Global yet, but there are some units on here that are only JP exclusive for now, but they should be coming out in Global at some point. This one is available in both versions. This is going to be one of those units that are going to be very helpful. You'll easily get the 99 million depending on how you set up the rotations and maximizing the items used. So again, this is basically the units that have the nuking passive, so definitely refer to this. This is from Dokkan Wiki, so it's going to help you, identify which units you want to test it out with. Now, for these guys with the Rainbow Key, even though they get an attack increase of whatever amounts or percentages, they're not going to be that beneficial because you do have to get a type-specific key depending on the nuke lead to get that 33%. So it's going to be better off being able to get that because the combination of items is going to add a further percentage to that. So let's talk about the items. So these are the most important ones you definitely want to bring. The Chilai, the Russian Roulette Takoyaki, the Monaka, and then the, Lemo, and then Dabra Cookie. So these are the problem with these items are it's not guaranteed to convert everything into these type specific key, but it's going to maximize your chances of being able to hit the damage cap because they do add a 5% on top of that 33% from each of the nuke leads. So in terms of where to get this, the Chilai and Limo item you can get from the Dragon Ball movie, Broly movie story event. You might have to use the memory keys for that, but it's worthwhile to use it because you really do need it to get it close to that damage cap. The Russian Roulette is from the Vegeta story event, or Rage Vegeta, and then for the Monaka it's from the Universe Strongest story event as well. A lot of these should be available in the memory key section where you do have to use a key item in order to access the stage itself, but these are definitely very beneficial to have. Now, along with these items, so for every type of unit, so let's say you're running a nuke test against the punch machine with the Perfect Cell, Tech Perfect Cell, you want to bring the Russian Takoyaki item. That's going to be one item slot. The second item slot is going to be the World Tournament Announcer, so definitely make sure to pick the type specific one. For this case, it'll be the Tech type World Announcer item because it has 30% to attack for Tech units. The last two items, it can range, but ideally you want to bring the Future Bulma that adds a 25% increase to attack for 2 turns along with a 70% HP recovery. The HP recovery part is really not important. It's more or less maximizing the attack boost by adding 25%. And then the other item is going to be another Bulma item, which is the one that adds 25% to attack for 5 turns. So you basically want to maximize attack as much as possible based on the items, but also you do want to bring in units that boost allies' attack as well. The most beneficial ones, in my opinion, are typically Topo provides a 35% increase to attack for allies, also reduces enemies' defense by 50%. Turles is also pretty good, 40% increase to attack, along with having some pretty good links like Fierce Battle, stuff like that. The Kid Buu obviously is very good too because of 50% attack increase, and then some various links like Fierce Battle will add a further amount to attack as well. So whenever you're building teams, make sure you factor in links as well as passives, or even like super attack abilities where they raise attack. I would prioritize the passive skill over super attacks increasing allies' attack because you do have a limited set of items that you're going to be using. For the most part, you're going to have to use 2 items of each of these, like whenever you're running through it, to make sure you do convert the entire map into each of these types. Now, it's not guaranteed, so definitely have some in reserve because it's not always going to guarantee to convert over. So you might have to go through a couple tries, but if we look at this, I mean, it's more than worth it because you essentially get 89 Dragon Stones by fulfilling all of these types of missions based on the punch machine. So again, July 22nd is when maintenance is happening for the global side on the punch machine new stages. I think it's going to make things a lot difficult. Obviously, 1 through 3 is still going to be the same format. You're not going to be able to use any items for that, but at least for 4, 5, 6, you're going to be able to. So, I would get a lot of these questions how items are being used on the punch machine event. So hopefully this finally kind of cleared the air, clarified things a little bit. So, good luck to everybody trying to attempt this. Again, I'm easily available if you have any questions specific to what kind of team you need to build. Definitely refer to the Twitter link. Feel free to message me if you need to.